Good morning. It's Wednesday, and we're going to continue our walk through the book of Exodus. Thank you for the emails, the letters sent in, telling me that these studies have been an encouragement. Did you know that yesterday, which I did today, that's why I had the same shirt on. You all know about that, right? I do 5 at a time. Did you know I was a minute and a half into it, and this excellent camera person who's helping me said, no, we got to start over. You know why? Because my wife had bought me Dunkin' Donuts decaf. And it was not put far enough away. And it was in the frame, as they say. And he's a perfectionist. But I just want you to know that I enjoy that coffee, and I enjoy meeting with you every single morning. I really enjoy this. I hope you're being helped by it. So let's cut to the chase. Exodus 22, verses 1 through 11. And we're going to learn now more about God's instructions to the people of Israel. This has to do with property. So listen, whoever steals an ox or sheep or slaughters it or sells it must pay back 5 head of cattle for the ox and 4 sheep for the sheep. Ox were more important, so you had to pay back more. If a thief is caught breaking in at night and is struck a fatal blow, the defender is not guilty of bloodshed. But if it happens after sunrise, the defender is guilty of bloodshed. See, you get it? Oh, how wise God is. At night, who knew the guy might be coming to kill someone? So you strike out and you kill him. And you wake up in the morning and you find out, oh, that's your second cousin, Mordecai. What did I do? But you're not guilty because it was at night. How did you know? But during the day, you'd be guilty because you could spot it and see. See how God was trying to bring a semblance of justice and order to Israel. Anyone who steals must certainly make restitution. But if they have nothing, they must be sold to pay for their theft. If a stolen animal is found alive in their possession, whether it's a donkey or sheep, they must pay back double. If anyone grazes their livestock in a field or a vineyard and lets them stray, and they graze in someone else's field, the offender must make restitution from the best of their own field or vineyard. So we're talking here about theft and protection of property, theft of animals, and the blood guilt of a thief or a person who kills a thief. At night, you can't blame them, but during the day, no way. So property is important, and you have to respect property. No one has a right to take someone else's property. That's laid down here by God. You don't have a right to destroy another person's property. That is, again, doesn't matter what the person did. You can't destroy property. That's cavalierly done now in our culture. It's just like, you don't know what I'm going through, so I'm just going to blow everything up. No, not as Christians. Not as Christians. Better to suffer loss than to do that. So they were brought to judges who could mediate these things. You read these first 11 verses. They're very interesting. And you'll see the rule of these judges there. And we have that in the New Testament in what way? Oh, I know what I do. If the guy in the church said he would do some work in my house, he did home improvement, and he didn't finish the job satisfactorily, but I had already paid him, and he doesn't want to make it right and do the punch list and finish the job, then I'm going to sue him. No. Bible says you don't sue another believer. Did you know that? Look it up. It's in 1 Corinthians. You don't sue. Paul says, what? You're having disputes with one another. You bring it in front of unbelieving judges and juries, and you sue brothers and sisters in Christ? He actually says, wouldn't it be better to just suffer loss rather than shame Christ, the name of Christ? Oh, this is a great God. What a wonderful church Jesus has built. You know, on this rock I'll build my church. They sue each other. No, Paul says, can't you get some judges in the church? Aren't there people of stature, pastors, associate pastors, elders? Aren't there people that you trust who can hear the case and bring person X, person Y Let them state their case, give their evidence, the other person speaks, and the church makes a ruling so that you don't shame the name of Christ out in the public. No, we do worse. People go on social media and obliterate another person. Shame on them. Shame on them. We're supposed to protect one another, not obliterate one another personally. Oh, come on, that's old-fashioned. It's a new day now. No, it's not a new day. It's a Bible day. We're to go by the Bible. So that's the way we're to settle disputes. Because justice and fairness is very important to God. Injustice done against a minority, a poor person, a widow, an orphan, a stranger, God does not like that. Did you know that, you've heard me say it possibly before, God had two chosen people in the Old Testament. There was Israel, the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. But God several times, as we're going to read, says, oh, by the way, if you mistreat the widow or the orphan or the alien, the stranger, the one who's not a Jew, not a Hebrew, if you take advantage of them because they're vulnerable, they have no juice behind them, they have no friends in high places, you take advantage of them and they go home and they cry to me, we don't have enough food to feed my son because I was cheated, taken advantage of. God says, I don't care that you're the children of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I don't care about you're my covenant people. I will come for you. How dare you take advantage of the lesser people around you in terms of material privileges or rights? God hates injustice. He loves all races the same, all people the same, all ages the same. Churches that have target groups of certain age groups, shame on you. Shame on you. That has nothing to do with Jesus. The oldest to the youngest, every color, every level, strata, socioeconomically speaking, everyone is to be invited in and welcomed and loved. And if you have a special group you're after, shame on you. Jesus had no special group. And God wiped away, through the church, through the blood of Christ and salvation, the gospel, he wiped away the barrier between Jew and Gentile. You know that the rabbis of 2,000 years ago taught openly, if the Gentiles are dogs, they were called Gentile dogs. Gentile, anyone who's not a Jew. And if you see a woman, a Gentile woman, giving birth in the roadside, and she's struggling, might not make it, and she's giving birth in the actual act of giving birth, and you're a Jew, you do not stop and help her to give a healthy birth. That will just bring another idolater into the world. That was what was taught. And anti-Semitism by Gentiles, that's older than dirt. You know how old dirt is? That's when anti-Semitism began. But Jesus broke that barrier down, way worse than black, white, Hispanic, Asian, whatever, tribal differences in Africa and all of that. God broke that all down, and Paul gloried in the fact that the two have become one. Jews and Gentiles together used to be hating each other, discriminating against one another, and now loving one another. Come on, can't we get some love? Can't we have some love in the place? Can we love each other, respect each other, and let fair justice be done for everyone, because God is no respecter of persons. God bless you.